1991, a year packed with colorful animation, big dreams, and even bigger flops. It was a time when celebrities, musicians, and sports icons tried to turn their fame into Saturday morning magic. From MC Hammer to Michael Jordan, everyone wanted a piece of the cartoon spotlight. But not all of them made it past their debut season. So grab your bowl of cereal, sit back, and join me as we dig through the cartoon graveyard of 1991. The shows that tried to shine, but quickly faded away. Let's start with number 10.
Get this? Too busy, kiddo. Got big stuff going. Big stuff.
Whenever trouble struck, one man was ready to dance the danger away, Hammerman. At the height of his fame in the late 1980s, MC Hammer wasn't just a music icon, he was a full-blown pop culture phenomenon. Naturally, the next logical step? Give him his own cartoon. Premiering on September 7, 1991 on ABC, Hammerman followed Stanley, a regular guy who inherits magical shoes from his grandfather, Gramps, also known as Soul Man, a retired superhero. When Stanley slipped on those enchanted kicks, he transformed into Hammerman, complete with Hammer's famous shades, parachute pants, and of course a musical groove that could save the day. Every episode began with a live-action sequence featuring MC Hammer himself, talking to a group of kids about the moral lesson of the week, before jumping into the animated adventure. And at the end, he'd return to reinforce the day's message. Find out about the real person before you judge somebody. Be friends with everybody. I'm your friend, and I'm Hammerman. During the cartoon, Hammerman was voiced not by Hammer himself, but by Clark Johnson, who brought energy and rhythm to the character's superhero antics. Now, while the show had a few clever nods to Hammer's real life, it struggled to keep kids hooked. Each episode felt repetitive, the same setup, same formula, and too much focus on Hammer's music rather than exciting storytelling. It was basically one long commercial for Hammer's brand, wrapped in parachute pants and positivity. Despite Hammer's popularity, the ratings couldn't keep up. After just 13 episodes, ABC decided to hang up Hammerman's magic shoes for good. It turns out, even the power of pop stardom couldn't save this cartoon from dancing its way off the air.
See, my problem is, I've got everything it takes to be a nerd. Ah!
Well, in 1991, that catchphrase took a wild turn into Saturday morning television. Released on September 7, 1991 on Fox Kids, Little Shop was a strange but fun idea. A kid-friendly twist on Roger Corman's cult classic Little Shop of Horrors. The creators tried to mix horror, comedy, and music into one wacky cartoon for children. This version reimagined the characters as teenagers. Seymour, the awkward but kind-hearted nerd. Audrey, the sweet girl next door. And of course, the talking Venus flytrap, Junior. Junior wasn't just any plant, he sprouted from a 200-million-year-old seed. Could talk, hypnotize people, and had a voice full of attitude, hip-hop slang and all. But only Seymour knew about his secret powers. Each episode followed Seymour's hilarious misadventures. Whether it was surviving school life, dealing with bullies like Pain Driller, or hiding his not-so-little green buddy from everyone else. And just like most 90s cartoons, every episode came with a lesson of the week. The show even had musical numbers, catchy little songs that blended pop and rap vibes, making it stand out from other cartoons at the time. And yes, the singing flowers, clearly inspired by Crystal, Ronette, and Chiffon from the original musical, added that extra spark of personality. For many kids, Little Shop was a hidden gem. Funny, colorful, and weird in the best way possible. But sadly, Fox Kids executives didn't feel the same magic. Despite its charm, they pulled the plug after just one season of 13 episodes. Fans were heartbroken, and the show quietly vanished from Saturday mornings. But nostalgia never dies. Today, you can still find all the episodes floating around on the Internet Archive. A small reminder of a show that dared to turn a creepy plant into a Saturday morning superstar.
Ordinary wristband, but when you press here, it instantly becomes a full-size.
In the early 90s, if you were a kid who loved sports, this cartoon was made just for you. Imagine your favorite athletic heroes, Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and Bo Jackson, joining forces, not on the field, but as superheroes saving the world. Sounds wild, right? Welcome to ProStars. Premiering on September 14, 1991, on NBC, ProStars was the ultimate crossover of sports and Saturday morning fun. Each episode opened with live-action clips featuring the real-life sports legends, as they talked to the audience about teamwork, courage, and helping others, setting up the cartoon storyline. Then, the animated action would kick in. 3 of the world's greatest athletes becoming a high-tech superhero team, solving problems, fighting villains, and rescuing kids in trouble all across the globe. Michael Jordan brought the basketball moves. Wayne Gretzky added his icy cool hockey skills. And Bo Jackson, well, Bo could do it all. The trio traveled the world in their supervan, facing challenges that mixed sports with spy-level adventure. The idea sounded like a slam dunk. 3 real-life icons, action-packed plots, and moral lessons for kids. But the execution, well, not so much. The show quickly fell into a predictable pattern. A kid needs help, the ProStars show up, cool gadgets appear, villains get defeated, and everyone learns a lesson. While kids admired the stars, the stories themselves didn't score big. And even with the charisma of Jordan, Gretzky, and Bo Jackson, the cartoon just couldn't dribble past the competition. After one short 13-episode season, NBC benched the series permanently. Still, for those who grew up watching, ProStars remains a nostalgic memory. A time when sports legends traded their jerseys for superhero suits. And every Saturday morning felt like game day.
Yes, and unless we fix that accelerator, those toads are gonna take us prisoner and conquer every free world in the Aniverse.
Let's croak us some toads. If that line rings a bell. You probably remember one of the most underrated space adventures of the early 90s, Bucky O'Hare and the Toad Wars. Based on the comic series created by Larry Hama and Michael Golden. This cartoon followed the fearless green space rabbit, Bucky O'Hare, and his ragtag crew of misfits as they battled the slimy and sinister Toad Empire. Premiering in 1991, the show clearly aimed to capture the same magic as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It had everything kids loved: action, lasers, wild catchphrases, colorful characters. And of course, a toy line and video game to go with it. Bucky, along with his loyal crew, Deadeye Duck, Blinky, Jenny, and Willie DeWitt, fought to save the universe from the greedy, power-hungry toads who wanted total domination. It was a space opera filled with courage, friendship, and rebellion, all wrapped in neon 90s energy. But despite all its potential, the show suffered from one big problem: syndication. It didn't have a fixed time slot or a consistent network, meaning kids couldn't easily find it on TV every week. And with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dominating the airwaves, Bucky O'Hare got buried in the shadow of its green-shelled rivals. Even with solid writing, great animation, and a passionate fanbase, the series lasted only 13 episodes before disappearing from broadcast. But for those who did catch it, it was something special. A hidden gem that combined sci-fi adventure with cartoon chaos. And today, Bucky O'Hare still holds a cult following. A nostalgic reminder of when space rabbits and laser battles ruled Saturday mornings. Even if only for a short time.
Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to learn about Mr. Sock and Mr. Shoe, and which one we put on first.
Imagine a team of alien cats landing on Earth, not to conquer, but to secretly help humans. Sounds bizarre? That's Space Cats for you. Created by Paul Fusco, the mastermind behind ALF, and produced by Marvel Productions. This show was a quirky mix of animation and live-action puppetry. Hosted by the eccentric Charles Nelson Riley. The premise was simple: a group of extraterrestrial felines patrol Earth, solving small human problems while delivering goofy morals and life lessons. From don't chew with your mouth open to share your snacks with friends. Each episode tried to teach kids something valuable, often in the most ridiculous way possible. While the idea had charm, the execution confused young viewers. Half the time, kids were watching live-action skits with Riley's over-the-top antics. The other half was animated cats using high-tech gadgets to help humans. The result? A strange mix that was hard for audiences to follow. Despite the creativity, the ratings didn't land. After just 13 episodes, Space Cats vanished from Saturday mornings, leaving behind only memories of its bizarre, half-puppet, half-animated adventures. It was part curiosity, part weird comedy, and 100% 90s Saturday morning weirdness. A show that dared to be different, even if it didn't stick around for long.
Are you all right? I'm having a ball!
If you thought cartoons in the 90s couldn't get any stranger, think again. Enter the Toxic Crusaders, a Saturday morning show based on one of the grossest cult movies of the 1980s. The original Toxic Avenger films were famous for over-the-top violence and body-melting mayhem. Naturally, someone thought, why not turn this into a kid-friendly cartoon? And that's how the Toxic Crusaders were born. The show followed Toxie and his ragtag team of misfit heroes as they fought pollution-spewing villains threatening their town, Traumaville. Gone was the gore, in came slapstick humor, eco-friendly lessons, and absurd adventures. Episodes were packed with weird humor, wild characters, and plenty of chaotic action. The show even had a full line of toys, comic books, and a Nintendo game, proving that merchandising was just as important as the story. Despite all the bizarre fun, kids didn't quite connect with it. The mix of gross-out humor and environmental messaging felt off to young audiences, while parents scratched their heads, wondering why a cartoon based on a notorious grindhouse movie even existed. After a single 13-episode season, the Toxic Crusaders disappeared from Saturday mornings, leaving behind only action figures, comics, and memories of the strangest eco-hero team of the 90s. At the peak of Home Alone mania, NBC had a bright idea. Let's turn Macaulay Culkin into a Saturday morning cartoon hero. And so, Wish Kid was born. The show followed Nick McClary, a young boy who discovers that his baseball glove could grant him one magical wish per week. Of course, every wish came with unexpected twists, leading to wild adventures and humorous chaos. Premiering on NBC in 1991, the show was heavily promoted, even during primetime Home Alone reruns. NBC wanted kids to feel that Culkin magic 24/7. But while the concept sounded exciting, the execution fell flat. Stories were thin, predictable, and the one wish per week formula quickly wore out. Even Macaulay's charm couldn't carry the series alone. Once the Culkin craze started fading, so did the audience's interest. After just 13 episodes, NBC pulled the plug, proving that star power alone isn't enough to keep a cartoon alive. Wish Kid is now remembered as a quirky, short-lived piece of 90s cartoon history. A magical glove that shone briefly before disappearing from Saturday mornings forever.
We'll save the day. See ya.
That's pretty cryptic.
Everyone loved the book's bright, chaotic pages filled with crowds, hidden characters, and the ultimate challenge: finding Waldo. So in 1991, CBS decided to bring the phenomenon to Saturday morning cartoons. Where's Waldo? Followed the red and white striped adventurer as he traveled the globe, solving small problems and encountering quirky characters along the way. To make the show work on screen, the creators added a talking dog named Wolf, a mischievous rival called Outlaw, and a narrator, Wizard Whitebeard, who guided viewers through the action. The animation was colorful, vibrant, and full of life. But here's the problem. The charm of the books was their interactive puzzle element. Trying to find Waldo on a static page was fun, watching him move on screen, less so. Despite creative efforts, the gimmick annoyed more than it engaged. Ratings were weak, and after 13 episodes, CBS canceled the series, leaving fans disappointed but still nostalgic for the colorful pages they once scanned for hours. Even today, Where's Waldo remains a cultural icon. But the cartoon itself serves as a reminder that not every book-to-screen adaptation hits the mark.
Don't vibe me out, babe. I'm L number one. I'm number one. No way, I am.
By the early 90s, classic Hanna-Barbera characters like Yogi Bear and Boo Boo were starting to feel a bit dated. NBC had a bold idea: teenage versions of the beloved characters, slang-filled dialogue, and a brand new setting, a bustling shopping mall. Yo Yogi. transported Yogi, Boo Boo, Cindy Bear, Snagglepuss, and other familiar faces into the vibrant world of the Jellystone Mall, where they skateboard, solved lighthearted mysteries, and got into all kinds of teen antics. The show even featured cameos from other Hanna-Barbera icons. Bright neon visuals, radical 90s catchphrases, and a splash of early CGI in its opening sequence. It was an attempt to modernize the classics and appeal to a younger, trendier audience. But the changes didn't land as intended. Older fans saw it as a cheap cash-in, while younger viewers weren't exactly thrilled by mall-based mysteries. The mix of nostalgia and modernization simply didn't click. After only 13 episodes, Yo Yogi was cancelled. And NBC soon ended its entire Saturday morning cartoon block, marking the end of an era, with Yo Yogi being the last original Saturday morning cartoon the network ever produced. On paper, this one had all the ingredients for a hit. Based on the popular DC Comics character, Swamp Thing was poised to be the next big superhero sensation. Fox wanted a kid-friendly eco-hero who could fight pollution-themed villains, transforming the dark, sometimes horror-filled comic into an animated adventure suitable for children. Swamp Thing's mutant powers and heroic antics made him a force to be reckoned with, all while teaching kids about protecting the environment. The show even had a catchy rock anthem, "Swamp Thing, you are amazing," a theme song that, unfortunately, would outlive the cartoon itself. Despite the promising concept and full toy line, Swamp Thing struggled to find an audience. Only 5 episodes were produced. Fox aired them quickly, then pulled the plug, leaving a full Kenner toy line without a real show to support it. Today, Swamp Thing is remembered less for its episodes, and more for its over-the-top theme song and its place in cartoon history as perhaps the shortest-lived superhero series of the decade. And there you have it, the top 10 cartoons of 1991 that tried, but ultimately failed, to capture the magic of Saturday mornings. From pop stars to sports legends, and talking plants to eco-heroes. This year was full of ambition, creativity, and a fair share of flops. Which of these shows do you remember watching as a kid? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more dives into cartoon history, hidden gems, and forgotten classics from the past. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure through the cartoon graveyard.